Hello indie game fans, if the Steam sale has not been kind to your wallet, here are 25 free indie games that should save you a couple of bucks. Now I'm not a fan of free-to-play games since in-game monetization can be exploitative even if it's just cosmetic, so for as many waifus that Genshin Impact throws at you, I do think that there's just something a little bit insidious about it. My selections are either completely free or have some sort of paid DLC for support, so you can enjoy these guilt-free, with no prologue demos, alphas or beta versions as well. We begin of course with a pixel art title named The Supper, a point-and-click adventure game with a really creepy setup. The kind-hearted Miss Appleton was a welcoming presence in town, running a little tavern and taking care of her patrons, that is, until the voice started talking to her, and is a no-barrier way to check out this genre. Following the popularity of Mario Maker, a number of build-your-own platformers have cropped up, with I Wanna Maker being of interest. Yes, while it is technically still in early access, I'm not uncomfortable with showing this off since, well, it's free. Based on the ridiculously difficult or unfair I Wanna Be the Guy fan games, this has you building or playing through similarly deviously designed levels with, surprise surprise, some actual proper online support. If you don't have a Switch or Wii U and wanted something like this on PC, this is certainly one to check out. One of the cutest titles of the year is Owl of Ewe, where you play as a shepherd who has to adventure through the lands to find his missing flock. I love the low poly look, with some platforming elements that feels okay, but for just being wholesome and cute, this gets a spot. Walking Simulator is 10 upon 10 better than Death Stranding. Well, not really, but a free meme game just for laughs is a nice little time waster.
Hello, user. I've got some bad news. Actually, there's no game. Don't play it. It's forbidden. If you play, they will come.
Alright, so technically this is from 2015, but there is no game. Gem Edition 2015 was put out for free on Steam this year and is worth a look if you're curious. This is a meta puzzle game where you need to meddle around with things like the UI to advance, and is very cleverly designed, with the so-called full title There Is No Game Wrong Dimension being of interest as well. And yes, this is yet another indie game trailer that is using In the Hall of the Molten King, and I should really start a counter for that.
Yes, go on. Destroy my life.
I do not say that we should or will go unprotected against the hostile misuse of space. But I do say that space can be explored and mastered. There is no strife, no prejudice, no national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hazards are hostile to us all. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon.
We Went Back is an impressive looking time-looping horror title set in an abandoned space station. It's really atmospheric and creepy, with the graphics really getting up there, so a title which I cannot believe is free and is totally worth playing through since it takes about 30 minutes or so.
And one we intend to win.
Samsara, a Sanskrit word that means the world.
Developer Rusty Lake has made creepy horror puzzle games like Rusty Lake Hotel, releasing the remastered Samsara Room on its 5th year anniversary.
Made flesh. Life will find a way.
If survival games were never your cup of tea, or you were unwilling to spend the cash to give the genre a try, then Outpost might be of interest. This is a low-poly survival roguelite, where you adventure and gather resources, build up your outposts and defenses, and try to survive for as long as you can. Seasons do come into effect here, and in the days since launch, this developer has been putting out free content patches as well, so do check this out and please support this developer if you can. Thimbleweed Park was a fantastic retro point-and-click adventure game from 2017, coming to us from Ron Gilbert and Gary Winnick, most famously known for Monkey Island and Maniac Mansion, so the release of Delores, a Thimbleweed Park mini-adventure is of interest. This is set after that title, so perhaps mild spoilers, but is also being used to show off Ron Gilbert's new adventure game engine in place of a more SKYE engine derivative used previously, so it makes me excited to see what's next from them. Perhaps the free game of the year is Helltaker, a simple Sokoban-style puzzle game where you need to rescue demon girls from hell. Absolutely amazing that it got a whopping 84,000 Steam reviews as of recording, and shows that puzzle games are perfectly viable if you package it right. A very 2020 title is Left on Red, a simple-looking text-based platformer about what else than the coronavirus pandemic. You play as a college freshman sent home due to the pandemic, but are texting your crush to stay in touch. Make choices and do what you can to not be left on red, and it's about regrets and love in some ways. If you didn't get my fascination with Umurangi Generation, then perhaps Sludge Life will give you a taste. A super weird and cool looking title, which is, I quote, a first-person open-world vandalism-centric stroll through a polluted island full of cranky idiots and a vibe so thick you can taste it. It has you tagging various parts of the town in defiance of the corporations with a super impressive look, and is just a weird game to chill out to. To be honest, the trailer for Swarm completely sold me on the game, since it's an action-packed title, combining platforming combat with shoot-'em-up action, not to mention awesome music and a cool look. It has you battling the boss with a fair amount of challenge, so if you're in the mood for some rhythm or music action, do check this out.
Wanna go to space? Of course you do. We at the company have hundreds of great space-related opportunities that only someone with a severe case of space madness would pass up. Angry spouse back home? Don't like your job? Have annoying children? Great, we've got you covered. Join up today by filling out a simple application form. Ignore the fine print.
Among Us with Guns basically describes unfortunate spacemen, so much so that the developer or publisher did actually buy that domain, and technically this did release in early access in 2016, so pre-Among Us. It's similar in that the spacemen have to go about doing their various objectives, but there is a shape-shifting alien among them, which is where the betrayal and hidden role factors come in. A lot more mechanically complex, since there are different weapons. The alien can do things like shapeshift or burrow underground, and the spaceman can do things like weld doors shut or to obtain a powerful railgun, so it does provide a nice alternative in the space. A wonderful student project is SKYE, a freeform exploration title where you fly around in a propeller plane, helping the locals, taking part in time trial races, but more importantly, feel that sensation of freedom and flight. If, like many of us, we were cooped up at home for most of this year, video games can be a great way of getting some relief, and what better than a relaxing experience like this. Just mentioned in the last video of how puzzle platformers are overdone, case in point being Monolight, and while it does use many of the indie puzzle game tropes, this is free, so why not check it out? It uses silhouettes, light and shadow, looking of course like Limbo, but I do think that it looks good, so do give this a try. I believe I covered Kari when talking about new releases in July, so even then it did impress me, being a combat-free action-adventure title inspired by Norse mythology. While it might seem to be your typical action-adventure Zelda-like, the puzzle focus is a nice change of pace, and impressively so, this is a student project as well. Flicker of Hope, formerly known as Wick, is a creepy thriller title where you play as a small candle wandering the halls of a dark cathedral. It really impressed me with the look, reminding me a little bit of Little Nightmares, where there's some horrible antagonist lurking in the dark. If you have kids, the no-brainer title is Frog Fractions Game of the Decade Edition, a free edutainment game that teaches both fractions and typing, with a nice cap that you can get out the frog with as well. From kid-friendly to very not kid-friendly, A Night in Berlin gets on the list for the aesthetics alone, intentionally looking very much like a PS1 title, but this third-person shooter does have good action and has the vibes of a game like Max Payne. I do apologize if I pronounced this wrongly, but Janosik is a retro pixel art action platformer with light Metroidvania elements, so of course I'm in. Very decent for a free title, and it does take place in one interconnected world, so it is a curiosity that I would advise you to check out. The game is named after a Slovakian hero who is their version of Robin Hood, with this developer fully translating the game into the Slovakian language, which is a nice touch. One more visually stunning title with Apellago, an open-air action platformer about traversing through the skies and slashing through enemies. The look of the game is perhaps the selling point, perhaps looking a little bit Ghibli-like in nature, but my goodness, the skyscapes in this are absolutely stunning, and again, it's from a student team from DigiPen, so extra points for that. Metroidvania and Mega Man fans, listen up. Hargrave will definitely be of interest, since it combines these two into quite a neat little experience. There's challenging platforming, upgrades, boss fights, that familiar jump animation and a decent amount of content, so for free, why not? If you love adventure games, Tukoni is a very cute free title based on the same characters from the books of a Ukrainian artist. Definitely on the shorter side, but so wholesome and pleasant, making it an easy recommendation. And we round off with another third-person shooter with a Korean-made TheDawn, where you play as an anime lady who has to face the threats of an invading force. Our protagonist has a number of abilities at her disposal, chief of which is time manipulation, and it's a very well-polished title for a game like this, so perhaps get your waifu fix with this instead. Not too bad a year for free titles, and if you do have any other recommendations, do leave it in the comments below. To see more of the big picture, check out these awesome videos, and I will see you after the jump.